You are listening to Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast, a podcast where we believe wrestling is a buffet and there's something there for everyone. Make sure you're following us on all social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook under Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. Make sure you check out our website, twoheelsandaface.com.
Era, 2 Heels and a Face.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 2023 Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament. A little bit later this year, I think, than usual, Chris.
Yeah.
Some slightly different things going on. We're not going to necessarily speculate on a ton of them. That's why we brought the source himself, Mr. Trent Zuberi, which we'll bring on in a second. He is making his, I don't know the number of appearances, but he's one step closer to catching Principal Steve from Warrior Wrestling. So I'm sure he'll gloat about that, as well as his previous trivia win, which he has every right to. But before we get into that, and before we get into a little JLMT preview, which is a show we always cover pretty thoroughly, Chris, how are you doing today, man?
How's it going, man? It's been a minute, like we got the holidays out the way, or Thanksgiving out the way. But getting ready to jump into the JLMT. I added the T. I always say JLM.
Don't forget it.
I am not forgetting the T. It is a tournament. And over the years we've definitely covered this. We've made brackets for the listeners to fill out. We've filled out our own brackets in the past, and I got just the same way. Principal Steve and Trent will go at it. You and I would go at it with our brackets, and you can definitely gloat about nailing pretty much or pretty close all of the brackets there. So little smarky there, Charlie, and figuring things out ahead of time. So props to you, but we'll see what this year brings us.
Yeah, well, we haven't been able to. I know last year that only participants are being released now, and it makes it a little bit harder to predict what's going on. But at least I think there's been 14 participants announced, and we have them all listed. We don't know who's wrestling who, in what order. Are people getting buys? Because I went to a bracket maker website. And
I thought you went to an actual person that makes brackets. Okay.
Let me call in my guy, the bracket maker. But no, I went to a website and I put in 14 spots, even double-sided. And I didn't put in all the participants' names. With 14 spots, it's just not enough spots. You need 16 to have the full 8 and 8, and to have because it's single elimination. Usually this tournament is every time that has happened, it's single elimination. So with 14, there's going to be 1 or 2 people with a bye, or potentially triple threats, or I don't know how it's going to happen, but it just doesn't. It's without 16, the people who are OCD, kind of like me sometimes. The bracket just does there's not enough people to have, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You're kind of laying it out. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna ask Trent some questions. I don't know if he'll have the answers or if he's privy to all the information, because he's the producer, but sometimes Danny might hold the cards to what's happening. So we've got a lot of questions about how this whole thing's gonna work.
Well, let's bring him in. He's in the green room. He's waiting. He's ready. So,
gentlemen.
Usually I start talking and I knew Chris was going to hit the button, and I'm glad I didn't talk over that this time. Trent, how's it going, man?
Good, guys. How are you?
Great. Congrats. We haven't really the dust has settled, but we haven't really kind of recapped your big trivia win. I got a message from Jimmy D.
Did you?
About that episode, and he loved the format. Jimmy D loved the format. So I don't know if Jimmy D's in the cards for a future episode. We're trying to have some other people on as well. Maybe do a 2v2 kind of tag team thing. And then obviously you need to come back in the future to defend your title, which I know you'll always be down for. But yes, how does it feel to be one of the first ever participants, and the first ever, I guess we could call you, trivia champion on Two Heels in the Face.
Listen, Steve came in confident, a little too confident, a little arrogant, but he got humbled pretty quick. And there was the Iron Sheik. He got humbled. All right, so he was thinking. I always feel bad saying that about a man of God, but hey, man, it is what it is.
Right. I almost thought you were gonna be like, Steve came in here thumping his Bible.
I couldn't do that because here's what happens, right? I say that, and then someone gets upset at you guys for having me on the show of saying things like that.
Oh.
That inevitably will happen. Somebody will be like, "Well, anti-religion. This is a religious thing. Oh, you're insulting a religion. Oh my God, you're insulting Steve as a man of God. You can't be doing that. I can't risk it, guys. I can't risk getting canceled. I can't risk you guys getting canceled. I have a show to sell tickets for Friday. Can't do it.
I know you would never do that to your favorite podcast.
Can't do it.
So we thank you. But yeah, that was a really cool message to hear from Jimmy D. It's cool when people reach out and just like, hey, I like this one thing, or I like this one episode. Kind of keeps it going. And I've listened to that episode back a couple times. And yeah, you did keep mentioning, you called him a man of the cloth at one point. So you're definitely playing that card. But Steve fought valiantly. But yeah, it was just you were just too hot to handle.
You know who let me down on that one though? Who really let me down on that episode was Keith Lipinski.
Dr. Keith
has down. He hasn't been heard from since. Aside from his apology that he sent me after he screwed me, after he's basically, I think he's working for Steve in cahoots, because that seems like that how he could botch that one on the phone a friend, embarrassing. And no one's heard from Dr. Keith since.
we gotta have him with a redemption next time.
You should bring him on though. Keith's a good guest. Have you guys had Keith on?
We have once, yeah. It was like really randomly. He was just like, he kind of tweeted out, hey, I'm in the mood to jump on a podcast or something. It was like so.
Oh yeah,
it was kind of like a flash guest kind of thing, where like, and then I messaged him, and then we were recording like the next day for like a show that weekend. So it was like very, very bang bang. But yeah, I don't know why we need. We're going to expand the AEW. We just love you so much, but we're going to try to expand in the background a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Voles is someone.
That's right.
For some reason, he keeps slipping from our list, and I don't understand why. Like, we tried before, and things just didn't work timing-wise, and then it's like, okay, we'll come back. And that may have happened on several occasions, but like, he's one I feel like you
need Tyler on. Tyler would be a great guest. He's seen a lot, and he's the voice, man. Tyler the voice. You got to have him on. So I would highly recommend getting Tyler on for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And I do feel a little bit bad about that question that I gave you guys, because it was probably you probably watched what, like 8 years straight of ROH during that run, 6 years or something, and and I kind of just threw a random. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it felt very random or not, because your mind was
on us. It's on us. It's on. No, we should have known it. No, don't take it on you. We should have known the answer to that one. Absolutely not your fault at all. That's on us.
Nate Speckman, who also loved the episode too, reached out and he's like, wait, like, he said something about a count out victory. He's like, Nigel McGuinness beat not like 8 people by count out that year or something like that. It was some like random, like, it just kind of seemed like all the matches / champions could have blurred together a little bit.
I should have made Nate my phone a friend. It seems like he was ready to go.
We need to have him in as like a fact checker or something. The fact checker questions.
He's great at that stuff. Nate wrote a lot of the backs of the AAW trading cards when we put those out. Nate wrote a lot of the text on those. Yeah,
the bios. Yeah,
he knows a lot.
Really cool.
Nate's fantastic at everything he does.
Are you guys doing that this year, cards?
No, sadly, no. Maybe for the Windy City Classic. As for the Lynam, no. Maybe we'll put them out for the Classic. I haven't heard any buzz about it, which surprised me from the merchandise department, because they're huge sellers for us. They're big. They're great products. Everybody wants trading cards. The MJF trading card that we have, like the MJF rookie card that we had from his first year with us, goes for hundreds on eBay. Insane. Absolutely insane.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked.
I have an unopened pack.
Do you?
I think I do
Yeah.
too. I'm pretty sure there's a pack I haven't touched.
I'm gonna, as you're talking, I'm gonna look this up, and
Please do.
a full set right now, a full set of the AAW trading cards are going for $75 starting offer.
Mm.
The MJF JLMT 2018 rookie card. Guess what? I shit you not. $1,499.99. Mint. It's graded and
Mhm.
carded and everything.
That's wild.
$1,500.
I feel like that's probably only going to go up, right? I mean,
I don't know.
his career is going to. He's only had one. He's been an awesome run, but he's only had one AEW championship run, right? Like, and that man
Yeah.
could go to WWE one day. I feel like he's going to be a bigger star at some point.
Now I'm gonna throw another one at you. The same seller is selling a PSA, I guess is the quality rating, right? So the
Mhm.
last one was a quality PSA 8. The same seller is selling a PSA 9 of that card for $2,999.99. $3,000 for an MJ. I mean, I don't know who's going to pay this, but the fact that this is on here is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. So
Mhm.
the seller has it posted as that, but how many has he sold? Probably none.
I don't know.
You think? You know?
Who knows? I mean, like just to give you an idea, Darby Allin one's 300. Scarlett Bordeaux
Jeez.
$76. Cora Jade $200. When she was Elena Black.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara $70. I mean, it's crazy. I mean these cards were a hit. They're definitely a hit. You can get a shit. There's we had a Chris Hero, everybody on here. Look at that.
That's really cool.
Rich Swan, $10.
Oh man.
Shane Strickland, $150. Same
Damn.
guy. Yeah. Anybody who's
So,
AEW, I guess, is
And DJZ is probably in there.
yeah.
oh, it's true.
I'm gonna leave you with this one. I'm not lying to you on this. The MJF 2019 JLMT card, 2019 one, at a rating of 10. So it's a perfect mint condition card. It's carded and back. It's back. It's got the hard card on there, whatever.
Mhm.
$5,000.
Get outta here.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't know who's paying this. This is a different seller altogether, which is funny. I don't know who's paying it, but this is ridiculous. If you're listening to this and you actually buy one of these cards that I mentioned today, please contact me immediately. I need to recommend you to a doctor or something. What in the hell?
It's kind of neat because I feel like I'm always a part of me is like, oh, Trent posted the link. I love that. I'll check that out. A part of me is like, that's ridiculous, and then a part of me is like, oh, that's kind of cool because I never like my Pokemon cards got like lost in a basement flood. So like I've just never been on like the right end of like, oh, I have this collectible thing.
Yeah.
And it feels like in the future I might be on the right end of that if people are buying those, but that's the big question, I think.
I wonder if they're buying them. That's the thing. They got pricing them at one thing. Pricing them is one thing, but buying them. Hey, look at that! $5,000.
There it is. For those watching on YouTube, you're looking at it through our eyes right now through Chris's screen.
AAW trading card is going for $5,000.
So the PSA or the PSA 9, PSA 10, all cards don't print exactly the same, right? And is that like have had that appraised by someone who's like, this card is slightly better than this version of it, same card, but like, is that how that works or not?
I think so. I'm not a big trading card. I mean, from what I understand, like I saw the other ones at PSA 9 and 8 and 9, so I'm guessing that it says CSG rated, so I'm guessing this is some kind. He sent it out and got it packaged and rated and inspected and all that.
Which costs money, I'm sure. So
sure. I don't think it costs $5,000, but
no, that's cool.
Well,
the unopened pack, baby.
You can even get a Jim Lynam card for $8. The actual man himself.
What about a Jim Lynam one?
Lineman, you have to check with Ego on that one. Ego might have a Jim Lineman variant. Son of a gun.
Chris, do I still? I feel like I bought a pack for you once and you paid me, but did I ever give it
Yep.
to you?
Yep.
Are you?
It's,
I
it's
did.
mentioned
Okay.
unopened pack.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So,
yeah. I definitely have that. But I was gonna say the Ellie Park mask that I have. It
Yeah.
was it was the mask that he used when he wrestled MJF at the
Oh my God.
Luchador something. I can't remember the name of the show.
De los
Luchadores.
Luchadores. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There you
But
go.
that's the one where he stiffed MJF with that chair shot, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'll never forget that. And MJF he didn't complain, but my God, he it was hard. It was a stiff chair shot. But then
damn.
you got Chris in the back alley, like, let me get your mask. Let me get
I
that
know.
mask.
I was gonna say, Chris, like, if for whatever, I would never wish this upon Chris, whatever reason, like, something happened where like Chris lost his job or whatever, like, or you just needed some extra cash. Hey, we need some extra cash. We want to go on a family vacation. Maybe I got three Ninas now. We need to go on a family vacation. Like, just look right behind this man on the
Yeah.
screen. We got some. I don't know how much money we got lined up with those Funkos and this mask, but if
Yeah.
you ever need that little extra cushion, Chris, it's right behind you.
If anybody's looking for lucha merch, hit me up. We can work out some deals.
There you
Yeah,
go, guys. There you go.
absolutely.
Let's talk lineman.
We're here to talk about the
Yes.
lineman, right? The Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament 2023. It's hopefully you're listening to this before. I know we're recording this on November 28th, and it's really close to December 1st, which is the day of the show. It's happening at the Birdwing Eagles Club, which I love. Tickets are on aawpro.ticketleap.com, aawrestling.com, right? That's your
AAW
website.
Pro. Just AAW Pro and everything at .com and all the social medias are AAW Pro, so easy to find.
Easy to find. So let's talk about logistics first. A little later than usual. It's usually in October. And is this just one night?
One night only. We're gonna do the whole
Okay.
thing in one night. So there's no there's a couple additional matches, like we have the Outrunners who are debuting and they're taking on Russ and Shaft for the tag belts. So we have that. We have the
Right.
heavyweight title match as well. We have Davey and Ren Jones for the heavyweight title. But
Okay.
so there's a couple non-tournament matches, but the whole thing's gonna be done in one night. Which is a push.
That is, yeah. How we feeling? Speaking on the production side, we squeezing some stuff. Like, obviously, people are going to get their money's worth. I will 100% say that. But how are we gonna? Is it going to be a lot of matches? Are we going to see some triple threats, some mix ups, and things like that? Or
You're gonna see a different kind of tournament layout than you have in the past.
Okay.
Because we're doing one night, you're gonna see a little creativity going to this one. We're testing it out in a sense. We're gonna play with it a little bit. People might like it, they might not. We're gonna find out. This will be a nice little. I mean, we're taking a risk. And I think in any wrestling now, especially with everything's been done 200 times over, the idea is to take a risk. Sometimes you got to try something different. So we're gonna try something different. We're gonna try to do something a little more unique for a tournament style layout. So all I could say is if you show up, you'll see it all kind of reveal itself. You can watch on High Spots as well. It'll be on highspots.tv. It'll be streaming live there. So if you're watching it live, you're watching it in Berwyn, you're gonna see a different kind of tournament.
Awesome. And I did get a high spot subscription because I wanted to keep up with Davey's run. I need to go back and I think watch the last match, but I've watched his first two title defenses. And I need to go back and watch the last one, but I do have high spots. So we'll be watching there for sure. If you can't make it, that's the thing you should do. How do you feel like Davey's run has been so far as champion?
Best work of his career is the last year has been since him and Bravo got together. Best
Just
work of his
carried
career.
carried over from Heritage to
absolutely
nothing's changed. Okay,
the work he's been doing with the Heritage run, which they kind of shifted over to, but they did the Hartenbauer finger poke of doom to Levi Everett now.
Yeah.
But Davey's been on fire. Like, I mean, he's had a hell of a year. He got the Impact debut this year that he got to do. He's been booked a ton more. Like it's funny how the attention really did come. Like the second he This is not to say he wasn't getting it on his own, but Bravo's definitely a more of a made name. He's on TV. People know Johnny Bravo. You can see how he kind of crafted Davey a little bit more, the whole Bravo family, and then Davey kind of upping his game a little bit. I mean, the proof's in the pudding, man. He's all over the country now. He's making more appearances. He's on Impact. It's been really cool, and he's the heavyweight champ of he's a triple threat winner now. He's another triple threat guy. It's crazy to see.
First ever.
No, it's been
right?
we've had several triple threat. Triple Crown champions.
Excuse me.
Triple Crowns. We've had several of them. So, but he's added to the list. Nobody ever thought Davey Vega would be on that list, but he is. It's pretty cool.
That's wild to think about. If you would transport me back to 2017, but he's absolutely earned it. Yeah. Explain it. Sorry, catch me up on, because I think I'm a show behind in terms of high spots. Catch me up on the Levi Everett situation with Hardenbauer. Is Levi Everett now part of that faction?
No. So Davey was forced. Well, so they were doing a promo, and they were doing a promo talking about the match that night. Hardenbauer said he's sick of defending the title for Davey because he was defending it on Davey's behalf because Vega was busy being a heavyweight champion. That. So he said, I want a shot at the title. I'm sick of defending it for you. I want a shot. Belt, dissension. We get in the ring, and it's a finger poke of doom. Hardenbauer crowned new Heritage champion. But we weren't going to let that stand. Management got involved, got in the ring announcer's ear, told him, no, that's not how it's going to go down. We're not going to allow that to happen. And his opponent was sent out, and it was Levi Everett, who, with a little bit of help from Big Beef, Gnarls Garvin, won the title. So Levi Everett is the Amish Warrior, is the AAW Heritage Champion.
That's amazing. He deserves that opportunity for sure.
Hardenbauer had a 20-minute run. But he had a title. He's in the books. He's officially in the books. So that's a good thing.
Damn. So they tried to keep it within the family, and then it absolutely backfired, which is... Yeah, that's
for 20 minutes they did. They kept it in for 20 minutes, and then it backfired.
I do like when factions kind of collect gold and do that, but Levi Everett. I mean, that guy has gotten completely over, and it's a gimmick that is like, it's interesting because it just seems like very outrageously goofy, but it's like people have bought into it so well. And
a lot.
Now, when he does it, it just feels like it's kind of part of the show, and it's not something that seems foreign to me.
Well, characters get over, man. It shocks me that, look at today. There's so many people who are they don't have characters. They're just regular guy. Joe Blow is just a regular dude, regular name, regular guy in tights. What's your character? Oh, I'm an angry guy. I'm kind of a rebel. Or I'm like this crazy guy, and it's like, I'm like anti-authority. What the fuck is the character? Like, that doesn't mean anything. Everybody's anti-authority. What the hell does that mean? Nobody's got a character. Then you got Levi Everett, a fucking a little Amish bald, skullet bald guy, dude, who's like out of his mind. Carries a churn. You can get behind it. You can get behind it. It's like a character. It's something you can get behind. Like, at least it's something. Like, at least it's just, I fucking saw this Amish guy jump off the top rope. It was crazy. Nobody's gonna remember. I mean, you gotta, unless you're like a giant, like you look like a spectacle, you got to have something to be your character. Something's got to hook people. Levi Everett does, man. Absolutely does.
I want to point out that like Trent has all this energy, and the man is on a fast right now. And like
I have not eaten food in 50 hours as of right now, and I'm not going to eat anything until I hit 72 hours. This is a PCO recommended diet. I'm following PCO's a pathogen.
And you're just selling your ass off right now. Like,
I love it. I'm hitting that stride. They tell you you're gonna hit this you hit this point in the diet where like all the energy that you've been storing up just kicks in, and it just starts hitting you and hitting you.
Glad we can bring that out of you.
I guess I'm trying to remember the exact. It's a cell regeneration fast is what this is.
There you go.
So yeah, it's very interesting.
Cool. Okay, should we get into the entrance? Chris, do you have anything else?
No. So just I guess the thing is like the outcome, even though it's a little later than usual, the outcome's still the same, right? It's a title. It's a shot for the title at the Windy City Classic.
Which is that? And that is usually in December. So are we thinking late December for that too? Or
It
are we
will be
thinking-
December.
Okay.
Probably the December 30th date will be the classic though. December 30th.
Okay.
Because we have a show. We have this one here, and then December 30th is the next one. So that'll be the classic.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. 14 entrants announced.
14 announced.
No bracket, absolutely no bracket, because I broke the system a couple of years back. And,
sure did.
And
you want to? Why don't you tell everybody what you did by how you broke the system? Just remind people what you did.
I had a perfect bracket. One person's was subbed out and didn't make it, but I had a absolutely perfect bracket. It was the year that Jake won.
Yes. Yeah.
Or, right?
Not Jake. No.
Jason or Alexander or what's his name? Holy crap!
Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander. My mind.
The
man hasn't eaten food, and my mind is over here breaking.
Did you say Jason Alexander?
I said Jake.
Oh, George Costanza, Jason Alexander. You need the soundbite of the music. Like the sound music.
Yes, this is the year that he won, I believe.
Nice, very cool. That was yeah, you did break the bracket. Nobody expected that to happen, but you did. You're probably the
I
only
had a
one.
screenshot on my phone, and it was timestamped.
Did we ever give you like a prize for that or anything? Did you ever get like a poster or anything?
I don't know. I think like I won. We used to bet. I think a shot at the bar. Oh no, that was for that was for the buffet bracket.
Buffet bracket, yeah.
We would bet a shot at the bar when we used to have Hank 312. He's our certified bracketologist. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to give me anything for that, for breaking the system?
Maybe an MJF rookie card?
Hey, right. AKA the retirement plan.
Yeah.
Are either of you gonna come? Are you gonna be there live? Am I gonna see either of you guys live?
I want to say that way before this was announced, I made plans. Although I am excited for this movie I'm going to see. It's hard to pick the movie over wrestling, but the movie was booked first. I'm very excited for the movie. It's like Beyonce's movie. I don't know what that is. It's like her concert or something. Okay, Beyonce, amazing performer, and it was booked way before this show was announced. So that's my defense to you. Then I'm sticking by it.
Chris, are you also going to the Beyonce movie?
I am not going to the Beyonce movie, but it's up in the air. It all depends on work and where I end up. Friday night. But Bearwood Eagles Club just calls my name. I just dude. I
mean, it's classic.
It's a magical place.
Classic, yeah. It's a magical place. So who knows?
Speaking of movies, I was invited to. I'll reveal this right now. By the time this drops, I think I'll probably be at this event when you're dropping this. Because this will probably drop Thursday, the day before the show. I'm assuming.
No, we're dropping.
It'll be a quick turnaround, Trent.
We're gonna quick turn this around. I got to get this out the door and promoted if people are gonna listen to it. So,
well, Thursday I got invited to a special pre-screening of the Iron Claw movie, the Von Erich movie.
Oh, nice.
By the studio. By the studio. I'm going to a special pre-screen.
Wait, which? Sorry, who? What studio?
A24, who produced it.
Oh, okay.
Invited by A24. I'm a connected guy. I got to do a plus. I got a +1. I'm taking my my old backstage boys, compadres, coming with me. Basil's coming with me to this.
I love it.
So we're gonna be seeing the Iron Claw. So if anybody else has been secretly invited by A24, come find us.
When does that come out?
Like 2 weeks. Still like 2 weeks out.
December 22nd.
Oh, 3 weeks out. It's a big advance. Yeah. They don't want us even. It was a big disclaimer. They're like, do not publicly say anything about the movie until the 13th. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, they don't even want us revealing anything until then.
That's super sweet. Yeah, that looks amazing. I actually have people that are like not hardcore wrestling fans that are very interested in them, that I know that are very
looks
interested
very well made.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk lineman.
Let's talk
lineman. Just so anybody knows, we're calling it lineman because for some reason Rob Eagle Anthony likes to call Jim Lynam lineman.
Mm-hmm.
So we're calling him lineman. That's why I'm saying it. This is a Rob Anthony joke.
There's just three dudes talking lineman.
Lineman.
Just three dudes talking lineman. Okay, entrant number 1.
Yes.
You announced a Haas a favorite. This guy, it's got to be a favorite. I think I earmarked like 4 or 5 favorites to win, maybe 4. Jake something.
Triple Crown winner, big guy, giant
Okay.
man, former champion, recent champion. Like, Vega defeated him, so if Jake wins the tournament, he'd be the only Triple Crown who also has won the tournament, I believe.
Yes, that's like the
Mhm.
one thing he hasn't done here, basically.
Right,
is win
and
the
that would put him above everybody at that point. So,
Yep.
'cause, yeah,
Well, Paco has that one under his belt. He got a win over Jake
he
something.
Pago took out Jinx. I still am bummed. That's I think it's exactly 4 years ago today. I want to say because
Today.
was it today? I think it was
Uh,
because I believe I was in Egypt when that happened. I was at the pyramids when that happened. And I remember somebody, there's one of you guys or somebody from the show was like, biggest pop I've ever heard in Logan Square Auditorium. I'm like, what happened? They're like, Paco just won the Heritage title. I was like, what? Like, what happened here?
When we were
So,
pushing Paco, baby.
yeah, it's all you guys, man.
To
Basically,
the
basically,
moon.
you guys booked that to happen.
That's great.
Let me see right here. I'll get you the exact date right here.
Do it.
30th. The 30th, 2 days from now. The 30th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close. Very close.
Very close.
Time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
Yes, I have him marked down as a favorite. We'll get into. I have a predicted Final Four.
Okay.
We'll get into that at the end. I just threw that together really quickly at the end here, and then maybe we can say yours or we can say Chris's. Obviously, Trent can say his without. There's no conflict of interest there. He's not booking the matches. He's doing a lot of other stuff. But entry number 2, I think the first woman ever in it. Correct, Masha Slamovich.
I believe so. I'm trying to think if we ever had. Wasn't Havoc?
well,
in
I was
it? I'm
gonna
trying to
say, was Havoc ever in there?
I think Havoc was. I thought she was. I'm gonna have to check. We'll have to
Okay.
check. I'll double check it. It's been a lot of competitors. I mean, you're talking several years of 14 to 16 competitors. It's a lot. So I'll have to check. But yeah, Masha.
Right.
I mean, Masha, what
like
a year.
Havoc or like Candice would be the only people that I feel like would make it into, or maybe like a Statlander, but
Maybe
would make it
Stat
into that
was.
tournament.
I'll have to check, man. I'm gonna check while we're talking here. We're going to we're gonna check it out. But no, yeah, Masha's a big one. She just she's coming off her title reign where she had
Mhm.
for over a year, I want to say. So and she just lost to Sierra. So Masha's
Right.
still flying high from a hell of a run as women's champion.
Yeah, she's. I feel like she can claw out some victories potentially, at least a first round victory. Mance Warner, entry number 3,
Former champ as well.
favorite, has to be a favorite to win this thing.
Manser, Manser is definitely. I mean, he's probably the most loved guy in the roster. You can't deny it. But yeah, I mean, another one who's like with Mance is ever since he lost the title, he's been kind of in a lot of different things, a little different feuds, and getting some ground. But I think like this would be a good step back for him towards main event. Because remember, he was main event through. I mean, he was a champion through COVID. Like he still took the title around. He took the title to other promotions. When we needed him back to defend during like some of the reintroduction shows, he came in and was doing that. So Manser was champ through a very awesome and then a very hard time.
Yeah, I felt like you guys. I felt like obviously COVID. When it like obviously when for promotions especially, you guys were like shit. And then when you guys were like trying to get back into it, it seemed like you guys relied on Manser because Manser was a name elsewhere.
We needed him.
And yeah, I think you definitely hooked your cart to him for a little bit, and we're like, okay, let's put him on top. He's a name, plus he's good, and plus like he kind of fits. I think the brand, which your brand is like a little bit more rugged and hardcore at times. I think, and Smash Mouth, and like kind of he carried you through a tough time. He was that wagon.
It was one of those things where like you needed someone in those tough times. You need someone you can trust. You need someone who I mean, who else can carry it? Who's not going to leave you? Who's not going to?
Yeah, like he's an indie guy, like he loves all the indie grind. Like he talks it like he's just a rugged dude. It seems like he's not a pretty boy, obviously.
Yeah, Masha was in it last year, by the way. I think that was first woman, I believe. So she was in
Okay.
last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that feels right actually.
Yeah.
For her to be in it again. So Jake something, Masha, Mance, entry number 4. You guys definitely released some heavy hitters at first, and then at the end is more younger plus like newer faces. So entry number 4, Robert Anthony.
Ego.
His
The
first time at the tournament, right?
First time in the tournament. This is a very special one to him.
Yes.
If you ask him if you ask him directly, he'll tell you it's very special to him. He has a lot of history with Jim as a friendship. They go back many, many years. So this is big for him to be in the tournament, to represent the tournament. So he's the first champ, man. He's back with us. He's the OG. He's the OG champ. So pretty cool for him to be in this. Very fitting.
It is. This one means a lot. This one 100% means a lot to him.
Yeah.
Because of his history with Jim, and I think that he's a favorite too because he came over after his stuff came over. It sounds funny, but like after his stuff with Freelance and having so much success there, he decided to carry the momentum to AEW and kind of start anew, but with that momentum he gained from there. But like start building himself up here, and he's been thrusted in some like really high profile matches. So it seems like someone who's like could obviously go far.
Yeah, and he was part of the whole thing with Moxley and everything like that. We had a lot going on with him pretty quickly, so it's pretty fast how that all kind of came to be.
Absolutely. Hartenbauer, entry number 5, looking to redeem himself from his 20-minute Heritage title run.
I mean, this would be a good way to do it, right? Like if you're gonna redeem yourself, this is it. Because shit, man, poor guy. Like that 20-minute. But hey, listen, I say this about Hardenbauer. Not one of the most the best like climbs I want to say in career, like how he's just grown from day one with us to now is awesome, and I'm so happy he has a title in his books, that he's on the AAW record books as the former champion.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
nice. 20 minutes or not, his name's etched in stone. I'm happy to have him there because he's one of my absolute favorite people to see just how his career has just and then success follows, man. He's everywhere nowadays. He's getting a lot of attention, and rightfully so.
Yeah, 100%. If this tournament was in LaSalle, he would win.
It could be. LaSalle's very. Listen, he's got a big old title shot coming up over there in LaSalle pretty soon too. So he's got a lot going on back down there in LaSalle.
Of course. Entry number 6. I think this is like I said 3 favorites already. I said Jake. I said Mance. I said Ego.
Mm-hmm.
Entry number 6. I feel like this guy is right on the cusp. Like he fits the criteria of just an absolute worker for you, a consistent worker. He's it feels like someone you could trust, and also someone you could hitch your cart. Hitch your cart is the phrase I think I was maybe looking for, like just a wagon that could carry you too. And I'm thinking maybe more babyface as well, since Davey is playing the heel role here. But this is Manders.
Manders, one of my favorites. If I had to pick a favorite, it's gonna be Manders.
Okay.
To me, there's been, he's a former tag champ of the company. He's had a great run with us. He's been gone for a few months now. He's been a little tied up with some stuff, but this is a guy who we saw grow in AAW. I think it's very fitting for him to be a part of the tournament. And to me, I think he has what it takes to kind of power over everybody on this. I think he's got singles victories over a lot of people in the tournament already. So Manders would be a great one to see. Just kind of, it's a great, it'd be a great, note in his career, because I know he'd be very proud of it too. He was coming to shows as a fan, seeing the company kind of rise as it did and whatnot. So, he saw Jim when he was alive, like open the shows up and all that stuff. So I think somebody like Manders would really appreciate something like this.
Yeah, very well said. Seems appreciative just in his demeanor and working for the company and things like that. So that's something I'm just picking up. And entry number 7, which was my pick to win, I think, last year, which was Silas Young. I think that was last year. Silas Young is entry number 7. And I think it was also Perch's dad. Perch's dad picked Silas Young to win, which is when we talked when Perch came on the show. We had Perch's dad and I. So if Perch is the nicest guy in the world, imagine where he learned that from. His dad's probably 10 times nicer.
I met his dad actually. I met Papa Perch in Milwaukee at the Crusher Fest, and also a nice guy. He's a biker, which you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, that I know. I can't even picture that.
Perch is a sweetheart, but his dad's a real sweetheart too. A real nice guy.
So yeah, great minds think alike. That was my pick to win last year. Silas Young, entry number 7. I don't think he'll win this year though.
Silas, yeah. I mean, listen, he's another guy who's won everything. No tag, he's never done the tag, but he has become such a veteran in that locker room. We have a young locker room now. Yeah, a couple of veterans like Silas are in there now who are really like. You see the matches where like that he has with some of the younger guys. And you're like, man, that is where a veteran. It's veteran versus youth. You know, like there's certain things that you just see a veteran do that you're like, man, that's why he's been here for so long. You never know, man. I think with in a tournament situation, Silas his stamina is great. He could definitely go. So that's a good. It was a good pick last year for sure. Not a bad pick this year either.
Yeah, he's capable, but yeah, like I think you just nailed it on the head. I just kind of see him as that shepherd now.
He's become a good shepherd.
And yeah, I can picture him in the getup with the sheep, the staff, bringing his frankincense and myrrh to the manger. But I just feel like Silas he might be booked in a very like selfless way where it's like Silas is there. This is once again being smarky. Silas is there to enhance maybe some people around them, lift those other people up that are.
Can we get Juan of the Dead, Chris? Can we get Juan of the Dead to create a photo of Silas Young with the staff and the shepherd and all the whole roster behind him and him just like Moses leading people to the promised land?
Yes.
There you go.
I had the wrong Bible story.
Yeah, you went to Jesus. Moses led his people to the promised land. Silas Young is the Moses of professional wrestling. I'm sure Principal Steve would really appreciate this blasphemy that I'm putting out right now.
Oh God! If you're very religious listening to this, I'm just sorry.
You're done.
We don't mean anything.
They've already stopped listening after I bragged about beating a man of the cloth. They've already just shut it off right there.
Assaulting a priest.
I verbally assaulted a priest, but for bragging rights, purely for bragging rights.
Oh, great. Entrant number 8, Solomon Tupu.
Young entrant, but a good rise so far. This could be a wild card. Black and Brave student. He's Papa T now. He's got the pimp. He's basically a pimp when he shows up at AAW now. Got the money guns and everything. So this is a total wild card. I think youth may work against him. Again, tournament style, you have to know how to pace your mind, body, soul, and everything. But then again, it could be a wild card situation. You don't know. You never know.
That's true. Speaking of wild cards, entry number 9, Calvin Tankman. This is a dark horse to win, I think. I think he can have really a convincing match with anyone. I think he's a bruiser. I think that once again, attach your cart to a horse. He can carry you through some tough times. Not that the AEW's in a tough time right now. I would say you're not, but this guy just seems like someone at a company you can rely on, and that's what we've talked about with James from Freelance as well. James, Freelance Underground has put gold on him, and like they're like, go out there and do your thing. So like I think Calvin Tankman is 100% like consistent enough and capable to have a run for you guys if you put him in that situation.
He really came through when we had the situation with the tag team titles. He when ACH left and retired and whatnot, it was pretty tricky at that time. He was a tag champ with Jossie, and it threw Jossie's career for a loop at that point. Didn't know what to do. We were kind of in between, so we had a lot of flux during that time. But then we put Tankman in there to be a stand-in first. And then we did a thing where we said, you know what? He's defended it twice without being an official champion. but he was reliable. He was there for us. We can count on him. He jumped in. He took care of stuff.
There you go.
And then we came to a situation where we said, hey, you know what? Let's the next defense they had. I think it was the Rascals. Hold the titles up, and if Tank and Jock can win, it officially crowns Tank as a tag team champion. So, because he was sick of, he was sick of being just a stand-in guy. He wanted to be and he did, and he defended him throughout until they lost him. So, I always appreciated Tankman coming in and stabilizing the tag titles because it became a total mess after ACH had to leave. So, it was good to have. So, again, when you mention a guy you can count on, I highly back that because it's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're in I might talk about this a little bit more with entrant number 11, but there is certain traits I feel like maybe, I don't know if this is just the way, and I'm not criticizing this at all, but maybe sometimes there's certain guys I feel like Danny gravitates towards that have certain attributes. And there's certain, like, if I were to say okay, sit someone down in a chair and be like, and give them like a controller for a video game and be like, create a wrestler that is going to wrestle at AEW. There are certain guys I feel like that have traits. There's someone specific coming up, but the Tankman trait is like the bruiserness of him and like just the authority and presence that he has. Like there's just certain types of guys that I feel like work really well in promotions, and I think he just works really well, like his makeup for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely does.
Entrant number 10, Isaiah Moore, a little bit more athletic, high flyer type, someone who could be actually a good first round matchup for Kelvin Tankman because of the yin and yang differences. But Isaiah Moore, can you tell me anything about him?
Young guy, he's an Indiana guy as well as the Tankman is too. But he's pretty young, man. But to me, Isaiah Moore came into his own in May of this year against Rob Anthony.
Yes, okay. I knew that name was familiar. I do remember. We watched that match together, didn't we?
We watched it together, yeah.
We watched it together. Okay. Yes, he did really well.
That was the Uno Mas show. Definitely a highlight show of the year, but that was when we all did together. But man, to me, I told you at the time, I said I didn't pay attention to this guy until I saw that match. Then that match opened my eyes, and I was like, wow. Now, all credit to Rob Anthony too, because it takes two to tango. Obviously, it takes two guys to work a good match. But the fact that Isaiah could keep up and went toe to toe with that match, it completely impressed me. So when I saw that, I felt this guy is capable of whatever. So to me, a wild card, but a very credible wild card.
Do you think like that match earned him a spot in the tournament? That
100%. That match, okay. If you look at where we've booked him since, that match kind of opened us all up to him, and we was like, wait a minute, this guy has something. There is something here that we need to build on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then so entrant number 11. This is what I was talking about when I talk about AAW traits. I don't know if you guys noticed the trend. You guys do gravitate towards, and I've mentioned this on other episodes. It's either the person is, but like bigger, more tan individuals, and either bald with tattoos or they have curly hair with tattoos, curly long dreads. That is, once again, like all these people that have earned their spot and have good matches for you too as well. But I feel like this is like, okay, like the assignment is create a guy who could generally be at AEW, and it would be like, might be Conan Lycan. It might be Conan Lycan. And I actually, I don't watch much CSW, but randomly one of his promos, it's his pinned tweet too. I would recommend going and checking this out. Randomly, like a CSW came across our feed, or CSW like video of him came across our feed. Not that we don't see their stuff, because our feed is independent local wrestling. That's our feed. But like his promo stopped me in his tracks. He's a really, really good promo. And like, I don't know if not enough people know that. So like, what are your thoughts on it?
I've done a lot of promos with him. I've produced him on a lot of promos and stuff. And he, to me, he was a standout student in training. He's a standout, pretty quick progression. I know he's got a lot of eyes on him from various television companies. People have looked at him. He's
got that look. Yeah.
He's got a good look. He can work. He's a big dude, smart guy. To me, he's absolutely he is absolutely somebody I could see just shocking the system on this one.
Yeah.
Because the guy is he has everything it takes just the only thing he lacks is years. That's all. Just needs more years, more reps under his belt. But um, he's a great up and coming talent, man. I mean, he's very far progressed than maybe other people had at his age level. He's like I feel like his skill level has like just gone beyond where like the average guy at whatever 4 or 5 years in would be at.
Do you know how old he's?
I could tell you. I think he is. I think he's. Man, I might be wrong. Maybe he's 28. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
not too old. You know, he's still.
Yeah.
But I guess in wrestling years, they all consider, well, you're 28. That's old. It's like, nah, he's fine. you know,
Yeah, it matters more about like maybe wear and tear and like things
that's
like
it.
that. You know.
It's
Yeah.
the main thing. That's what you got to worry about. It's your body. What your body can take.
Exactly. Can't maybe he needs a 72-hour fast, and then
Hey, listen,
they'll drop him
talk
back.
to him. 50 hours in right now as of this recording.
They'll drop him back to the age of 24 or something.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I'm not hungry because my body's obviously it's starting to like where it eats it starts using the fat you already have. But it's almost like I'm bored because like I want to eat and like watch TV and like,
yeah.
like I'm gonna watch TV without eating something. What the hell is that? Who does that? But like I like the art of putting a dish together and like cooking. I get it. It makes you understand how much you eat out of freaking boredom because you're like, oh,
Yes.
it's something to do. It's something to do. I have a TV in my kitchen. The most dangerous thing you can ever do: put a TV in your kitchen because you're like, oh, watch TV while I make food, and I'll eat this while it's cooking, and eat that, and nibble on chips while that's warming up. It's like I need to take the TV out of my kitchen, man. I like ambiance. I'm a big ambiance guy. I got TV there. I have a 1-bedroom apartment. I have 3 televisions, and I have 12 clocks. Like I like ambiance.
You're just on a roll. I love it.
Roll, man.
I don't know how your brain is working. That's preposterous to me.
According to the diet, that at this point, autophagy. I think it's how you pronounce autophagy. I was calling it something else before.
Okay.
This is when it starts kicking in, man. Like the 48-hour mark, the cells are like, all right, we're not getting food. We got to start fixing ourselves, and then the brain waves just start going, man. They start connecting, and sharpness just hits. I sent you guys the link. It's mind-boggling.
It's wild to me. You did send us the link.
72-hour fast. I really look into this. This PCO does it. He looks like $1 million at nearly 60 years old.
That's true.
If you need to spend some time in the kitchen, you can definitely boil some water there.
Bro, you don't understand, Chris. I'm already planning what I'm eating tomorrow. That's the thing. I'm already thinking about. I went to the fridge to get this water, and I saw like Thanksgiving leftovers from my Friendsgiving on Sunday, which are still good. And I'm like, I want to eat these so bad. I can't wait to eat this tomorrow at 8:00. I'm gonna eat all this whole thing. I'm gonna eat this. Can't wait.
Man. Text me when that happens. I want to know what's going through your head. So
when I was reading the thing, it's like ease into the food. Don't go crazy. Your body's gonna be shocked because you just starved us. But I'm like, fuck that, man. Whatever comes of it comes. I'm having my Thanksgiving leftovers. I don't care what it takes.
All right, rounding off, we have entry number 12, 13, and 14. So entry number 12 is Gnarls Garvin, last year's winner.
2022 winner. This is a big one because you have a former winner in there, and that's now he won but didn't win the title. He couldn't capitalize.
Right.
For a while we weren't seeing that, and he couldn't get it done. But I will say his win in 22 was very interesting because it was a huge pop. Were you guys there last year's?
No, I remember watching it though. I watched it for sure at streaming.
All the streamers, people threw all the streamers in the ring.
Yeah.
And
the crowd was behind him 100%.
Yes, but there was a section of people who were Vega fans who did not want to see it happen. There was a little crowd like boo, but it worked out for them because look where Vega is, right? Yeah. But that's the long game in wrestling. That's why I tell people don't think Monday to Monday. Think Monday to think January Monday to Survivor Series. That's like think long game in wrestling. It's always a long game in wrestling, man. If you have a good booker, you have a good storyteller, it's not. It should not be. Well, I didn't get it today. It sucks. Think beyond today. Look what WWE. Look what WWE's doing, man. WWE has rediscovered the art of the long game. You know, like they're on it now. There's an art in it. So
The CM Punk storyline was 10 years, right?
10 years in the making. You don't think they sent him to AEW to destroy it?
He was
That's all I did.
That's great.
No, but the long game is where it is. So, but Vega worked out, you know. But Garvin was great. Last year, he wrapped himself up in all the streamers, walked around the entire building.
There's like an infamous photo, where like the trophy has streamers hanging off of it. With
the infamous photo that got taken after. I'll tell you guys real quick. Super sweaty, right? Because he was really sweaty from the from wrestling, and the streamers were, they were like turquoise and blue and green, the colors of the poster that year. He wrapped himself around a ton of them, wrapped himself around it and walked around the whole building. When he took the streamers off, when he was taking all the streamers off, mix all the sweat, his whole body was turquoise, blue, and green. All the color from the streamers just embedded into his skin. It took him a day to get that off. He said he had to scrub that all off. It was crazy.
He became one with the poster.
Yeah. It was awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, memorable for sure. Entry number 13 is Xavier Walker, and entry number 14 is Joe Alonzo. You have anything to say about those two?
I'm a big Xavier Walker fan. Always have been since day one. He's a big dude. I think we always tried to find the right spot for him. Like there was always we can never catch enough fire with where we put Xavier throughout the years. Ace Perry and then recently with Ren, but he left with Ren, and he had some other things going on before too. So I want to see Xavier Walker get a proper structure, and a tournament win could absolutely do it. Tournament win would absolutely put him in the right path. But I think I like Xavier Walker a lot. I think he has something. He can talk. He looks the part. A big dude, dresses like $1 million when he walks in. There's something special to him. And I'll tell people, look, even if he's not somebody you pay attention to all the time, pay attention to him now. Starting from here, because there's something there that just needs to be put on a path, and the tournament could do it.
Cool. Honestly, I actually have to. I know I give you guys shit a lot for not releasing brackets anymore, but there's like such a good mix of. There is really such a good mix of like favorites and dark horses in here.
Big time.
That it really leaves the imagination up. Like my imagination is running wild right now, honestly. So it leaves it like people could be brewing on like. Well, if you release a bracket, sure, you're excited for this match, but you can kind of maybe piece some stuff together based on who AEW likes and things like that. But like the imagination is really left up to play here because there's so many different creative combos that can happen. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you got former champs, heavy hitters, and you got near rookies in this thing. So this is a big clash of and then you got Masha in the middle of it all. So it's like it's like you got a lot going on in this tournament. And then Joe Alonzo, I'm sorry, we didn't touch on him, but Joe Alonzo's in it. But Joe Alonzo's such a shitbag. Just a nuisance. A nuisance, Joe Alonzo.
No argument here.
Because of that, he's in my top 4.
He's a top. Okay, give you guys. All right, so we're at the end. So top 4s. Let's see. Who's your
Chris? You want to go?
Sure. So I did say Alonso, just because of who he is and how sneaky and dirty and whatever you want to say about him. I think he's in the top 4. Jake something.
Yeah.
Robert Anthony and Hardenbauer.
Ooh, this is an interesting top 4. I like this because you got some you got heavy hitters, you got vets, you got Joe Alonzo, which I don't know
who's not a heavy hitter or a vet.
You got a guy who's not been.
I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna win it, but he's in that mix of the 4.
Final 4. Yeah,
he's definitely gonna stir something up. I know that. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
I like it, man. I like it. That's a good top 4. It's a very interesting top.
Mine's a little bit chalkier than that. So I'm not sure if you went from like chalk is like when you're filling out a bracket, it's just like, oh yeah, the 1 beats the 8. Like it's just kind of what you expect a little bit more. Mine is Jake something, of course. Robert Ego Anthony. And specifically like maybe those two that's on one side of the bracket if it's like that's how the bracket shapes up. But Jake something, Robert Ego Anthony, Manders, and Mance Warner. And I feel like a finals of Manders and Ego makes a ton of sense. Like I think Trent, you convinced me on Manders. I had him in my final 4 before we recorded, but I think you can convince me him probably winning. But I think Ego being somewhere around in the final, or even winning as well, because of all the history he put out and like the video he put out and all the history. So like my final, I think is Ego, Manders, but like yeah, those 4 that I said.
That's a good 4. Both of you have some very interesting 4s. I like it. For me, I'm not gonna give 4. I'm gonna refrain because I work for the company, so it would be stupid if I sit there and go, "Here's my top 4." You know,
Sure.
But for Jake, I like that you both had Jake because I'm big on completionist kind of stories. Like it's the one, it's the last thing he would have to. He would be the ultimate grand champion of the company if he held that as well, because he's a triple crown. But no triple crown has held the tournament championship. So that to me is like, oh, he'd be the only guy. He'd be on an island, and he kind of
Mance Warner is not. He didn't get the tag titles, right?
No tag or no heritage, so he's not.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
he's in heavyweight. So yeah, a lot of guys like Silas never had a tag. You know, like that's another thing too. Like Silas is up. We were going down the list of who's eligible too, which is pretty funny. Like, because like Fitchin is already he got it. Like Vega got it recently. ACH got it. Jake something. It was like Jimmy Jacobs. It went down the whole list. It was an interesting list.
I think there's a lot more than I thought.
9 total, I believe.
Okay.
I believe there's 9. I
don't know why I thought Vega was first ever. That was really dumb of me. But maybe I don't know if he was first something ever, but maybe not. But yeah, 9 sounds right.
I'll tell you right now, actually. Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry, not 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My bad, 6.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy Jacobs, Shane Hollister, Suge, Michael Elgin, Penta, ACH, Jake something. And then Vega. And then Vega also. Vega's in this list.
That's a sick group.
So 7. There's 7. So Vega hasn't been put on this list.
Okay.
Wikipedia, get your shit together here.
Is there? Do you guys have a page now? Yeah.
We do have a page. Yeah, there's a page on here.
Cool.
It severely needs update. I will put this out again. If someone wants to take on updating this page, I'll give you a T-shirt, poster, or give you something. But please take on updating this page and making it look nice. You know, it needs a little rub.
The call again. Once a quarter, I think we call for that.
But. Put it out there, please. Please.
You know, honorable mention in those top 4. If we were to swap anybody out, I do have to say Tankman is just a personal favorite of mine.
That's what I'm saying, man. He screams Dark Horse to me.
Yeah,
he screams it.
Tankman is a, like I said, he's a stabilizer. That's how I looked at him. People were I got a little feedback last time when he was in the title shot, and I even brought it up. I'll be completely candid here. When he was announced for the title shot out of nowhere against Davey, I'm like, what the hell did he do to get a title shot? You know, I'm big on making sense out of things, right? Like, it didn't make sense. He didn't. He has been gone for a few months. All of a sudden, he's got a title shot. They told me that I was reminded there was some interaction at some point between him and the Bravo family. It goes back a little bit, like small, but it was small enough that I was like, all right, we needed to. It should have been capital. It should have been built on a little bit more. That being said, if you watch that match, there's several times during that match where people believed it was going to change. It was like, holy God, like, oh my God, Tankman's going to take this. Vega pulled it out at the end, but there were several points where people were like, the credibility of Tankman was enough that people were ready, that had he beaten Vega that night, it would have been accepted. The crowd would not have shit on it. They would have, oh my God, this is great, because the pops during the 2 counts, and and during some of the offense, I was like, oh man, people are almost they're ready for it if it happens. Which
Yeah.
proved to me that Tankman he's built up a lot of trust with the audience, and he's like I said, I'm forever grateful that how he stabilized. He's able to really create a run with the tag team titles with working with us, doing that right by Jossie and everything. So I think he's definitely a dark horse man to put on your list for sure.
Yeah, people are very convinced that he can, like, that he can win a title, or that like, any match he's in, I feel like he's good competition. I think people are very convinced of that. Just watching him. Yeah. Not a pushover for sure. But yeah, that's 14 entrants.
Yep.
Gonna have to get a little creative. Let's see how that pans out. Maybe a triple threat seems likely in there, but I'm not going to speak on anyone's behalf. Yeah, but we'll see.
We'll see, man. Let's see how it pops up. We might have a couple more surprises as things progress a little bit coming up on on the show day itself. So stay tuned. There might be some other stuff that comes in and surprises you a little bit. So never know what can show up.
Yeah. No, it's I think it's probably, as a AEW fan, this is probably I think my favorite time of the year. I just really like the build up for it. Just the tournament kind of has this different aura around it, I think. It just seems like more is on the line, even though it's not necessarily for the title. It's just kind of a cool little notch to put on your belt, like, hey, I won this damn thing, and this tournament means so much to this promotion. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I think it's cool. And there's a lot of history to it in the company too, with Jim and being the founder with one of the founders of the company and a face of the company for so many years. It's special to whoever gets this one. So it means something. It means something. A lot of people haven't met him. A lot of people working there never met him. He died in 2015. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I never did.
A lot of people didn't meet him. My first show was his last. So go figure that. That was a weird. We passed with a quick hello. That was a quick like, hey, this is Trent. He's gonna be helping us out, and he's like, hey, nice to meet you, and that was it.
And then the Trent Zuberi run started, and here we are.
That's my run started. Yeah, that's in a weird way. I always felt oddly connected to him because of that. Because I met him several times as a fan. He would open the show, but I felt like he tagged me in a sense. That's how I look at it.
Dang, that's sentimental.
It is. That's I guess I was never close buddies with him like some of the other guys were, but it was a tagging to me. I was like, I saw him, and then 2 weeks later he had passed. So,
wow.
But it was at Bourbon Street, and he came to do the intro. I believe did the intro, and then he left. And then he left. He wasn't feeling well. Things have been kind of off, and he wasn't feeling well, and he left. And that was it. I met him in passing in the back.
Wow.
So that was it, man. So that's why it's sentimental for me. It's special for me to do it too, and it's nice to be a part of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing who gets it this year and who carries on that legacy. I used to love when Jim's family was in the audience every year. I don't know if they've been invited this year or if they are going to be here this year, but it was really nice when they would show up every year to present the trophy too.
I know they were rocking the Bears gear. I do remember that, the Bears jerseys.
They did. They had the Bears. His brother, and I think his brother and cousin, I believe, too. And then his kids were there too. Yeah, hopefully it'd be nice to see him again. It'd be nice to have him back, and so hopefully they can make it to the show.
Cool. Well, Chris just lagged out and missed a very, very sentimental moment.
Sorry, I'm back.
Go ahead, Trent.
One last thing I want to mention. I know I said at the top, but I want to reiterate the two other non-tournament matches.
Yes.
The debut of the Outrunners, who are this awesome tag team. They look like the Midnight Express to me. So like straight out of the 80s, like Hot Tub Time Machine. They got in it.
That's sweet.
Outrunners are they're going for the tag belts against Russ and Schaff. And then we have Ren Jones cashing in his Chi-Town Rumble title shot against Vega at this one too. So it's Ren Jones' first shot at the title, and he's going to be his first main event. Ren Jones' first main event, and to me it's special because, man, look, you can call it's indie wrestling. I get it. There's not 10,000 people in the audience. I understand, but for me to see these guys' careers go where they go and how they come up, Ren Jones was a pre-show guy a few years ago. He was a pre-show guy who nobody knew, nobody cared. As a pre-show guy, and this Friday he main events for the AAW heavyweight title. To me, that's an awesome story. I don't care I don't care how small the scale is to people. The story of growth is an awesome story, and I love it. I love seeing that stuff.
I couldn't think of a better way, I think, to end the show.
Yeah.
Or last thing to say. So yeah, tickets are still available. AAWPro.com, December 1st, Berwyn Eagles Club. Chris, are you still here or are you lagging out?
He's here.
He seems frozen.
He's frozen in time.
He might be gone.
It's very judgmental look he's giving too.
He's giving us a side eye. Chris. I don't think I can end the show on my end. So...
Oh, you cannot? You cannot?
I was going to try to get that in and then like pass it to him to end the show. And I think he's frozen now. So maybe when it comes back, right when he gets back, we'll do the sign off.
You can do final thoughts like Jerry Springer. You want to do that? You want to do a final thoughts?
Do you have any?
This is your show. You got to do final thoughts. Like,
how does this work?
Times are tough out there. We know that money's tight.
No, you just had a really cool the sentimental moment that you
it wasn't sentimental.
Show with. It was like you had back-to-back ones like that.
I mean, I could piggyback on the sentimental moment. Well, let's see.
The best part about having you on the show is my job gets a lot easier because I just literally toss you a softball and then you run with. I give you a screen pass, you run with it for 70 yards, and then it's easy to talk. So
on 50 and a half hours of no food, no caloric intake whatsoever.
That's like I would be shutting down, I'm sure.
All right, Charlie, I want you to bear. I want you just the burial needs to happen right now. Who has been the most difficult guest you've had to get through a show? Like, not talkative. You had to it was pulling teeth. You're like, okay.
No.
Come on, Charlie. You can cut this if you need to.
I think we might have to.
Is this person still active in the scene? And will they see this?
I don't know. So, I know. I actually wasn't on the episode. I had to skip or I got sick randomly. I think I meant being on, and then something really random happened, and I couldn't record. But sometimes that'll happen with Chris and I, and then we'll still just do a solo.
Okay.
So Chris had a solo, and he's here.
I'm back.
And I can't think of what his name was, but he had a really interesting story where he had a near-death experience.
Okay.
And what was the wrestler who had a near-death experience that Wrestling with Unicorns suggested we talk to? And the episode, we couldn't I feel like Chris was trying to ask him questions and we couldn't pull anything out of this guy.
Oh.
I don't even know his name. I don't think he's extreme around here. I don't think he's extremely commonly booked.
I think he moved to the West Coast recently. Bullet something.
that was part of his nickname, wasn't it?
And yeah. Part of my gimmick here is that I don't remember names well.
That's not a work. That's a shoot, brother.
That's a shoot, brother.
Thanks for protecting the business there, Charlie.
But to answer your, I honestly can't think of his name, James, or James. What was it? I can't think of it.
How is your memory? How are you all? I have not consumed anything in 50 hours, and you're calling me James? What's going on here?
Sorry, we just recorded with James, so I bicker with him a lot. I would never do that with you, Trent. I would never bicker with you.
I do gotta say, 250 episodes, 2 heels and a face. I mean,
you guys are at 250.
We're plus, aren't we?
Wow. This is the 250th episode.
This is the 250th.
Wow.
That is correct.
What a right person to have on too.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm honored. So between Steve and I, that's 50 of them right there. 250. Wow, man, that's fantastic. And Chris,
I was trying to look, but I can't even sign in to SoundCloud right now for some reason. So it's just that's my answer to your question. I can't remember his name.
2heelsandaface.com. Click on the podcast tab. I'm scrolling down and I found it Death Proof Jay Harris.
Death Proof Jay Harris.
Jay Harris. Is still working?
don't
I
know.
am not sure.
I don't
That
know.
was episode 184.
And we might need to cut. I don't know if you're comfortable with leaving this in, Chris. We might need to cut this, but like that is the honest answer. And like I wasn't on that. I feel bad because I think I had to bail on Chris late, but that happens sometimes.
It happens sometimes. You've done the same for me, so
yeah. So, but it was just like, man, this guy had a crazy story, and I feel like
really
he just didn't like maybe. And you know what it is, dude, is like. You have to have rapport with people before you jump into something like this. Like we went into that interview cold. It can work. Like we talked to Drama King cold, but he's just, I mean, he's got a lot of personality. You go into interviews with people cold, and you just haven't like met them at a show or haven't shaken their hand, and I just don't think they like trust us enough, and they don't like the conversation is just not there. You know?
I get, yeah. I mean, but that's part of them being like, if you're on an interview, you know, part of that's like, that's where their personality gets to shine. Like, okay,
yeah,
we're interviewing you.
That
like,
was the platform.
That's your moment. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah.
Well, like wrap it up, boys. You might have to edit all that out. So just wrap it up.
We were buying time. Yeah, Chris, you want to take us home?
Yeah, well, I don't know what just happened, right? And during that time that
don't
I was
worry about
it. Bad internet connection, technical difficulties. It's all good. Okay. But before that goes out the window. We definitely, enjoy talking to you, Trent, and recapping or not recapping, pre-capping kind of the JLMT, and definitely recapping all the years prior. Definitely, I think for every JLMT we've talked to you. Yeah, I think you've been in all of those. Just because again, we appreciate how much you go and put into the show, and we say it's trend things, but ultimately you definitely wave the AAW flag, and we are grateful that you're able to join us every single time.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
and we've done the hot tag before episodes with this stuff, so there's some history there, and hopefully I'll be able to make it out there. I mean, I keep saying that over and over. At some point I will be making it out there. I think I was there last time at the Bearwin Eagles Club.
Yes.
So excited and looking forward to that, whether that's digital or in person. I don't know if I missed the part where Trent gets to plug in social handles. Did that happen already?
We plugged AAW Pro, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Just type in AAW Pro, comes up. Follow us everywhere. AAWPro.com. Tickets available for December 1st. All tickets are going to be at that. You can find them at all those links. And I mean, check it out. See what you think. Feedback, always appreciated, guys. If there's anything we're not posting, you want more of on the socials, the YouTube, let us know. But that's it. That's all. That's the socials.
Absolutely. We're done, Chris.
All right. I don't know if you guys can hear me well. I hear you guys okay. Seems a little bit.
Oh, it's cutting now.
This episode it just won't end. It just will not end.
Finish your Charlie. You plug the tools in the face stuff, and then you can have an ending.
I just don't know if I can I can't hit the record off button. I would love to. I don't like. I'd have to leave the studio and just leave you in here. Like that's the only button I see. Relieve studio, stop cam, mute. I don't see like an end recording.
You got to start logging in as an admin so you can do.
Yeah, that's because I'm not logged in. I'm technically a guest, so like usually Chris does all of that. But
oh man, keep the combo going, boys.
Oh god. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Who would you want to do? Maybe you versus Keith in trivia. Is that something we can do in the future?
Ooh, well, he did bury me. Yeah, I could definitely go against Keith. It'd be fun.
Okay.
Fun. Actually, you should do Jimmy D and Keith. That'd be a lot of fun. Oh no, I have to defend my title, right? So
if we want to do something like that, or we do like Jimmy D and Keith and winner faces Trent or something like that.
It's not a bad idea. Share a little bracket of our own there. Could be cool.
Chris, you can just hit the stop button. Seriously.
All right. Thank you.
Just edit.
All right.
We can talk off.
Thanks.
Cool. All right.
It's still recording.
Still recording. Still